It is a great day in the neighborhood. I am going to wait on my exclusive interview to come online, and we're going to get started around about 7 o'clock. So, second, I sent a invite. I want everybody to come on in, come on in, come on in. Okay, it's saying that you declined the video. Okay, there you go. Hi, beautiful.
Hi, how are you?
All right, how about yourself?
I'm wonderful. The only thing is I can't see you. So,
Yeah, yeah, and that's okay. I guess once we get off of the live, it's somehow, I don't know, Facebook is not allowing my interviewers to see me, but I can see you. So
okay.
I don't know what happened there, but but you can see yourself, correct?
I can.
Okay, so that's a good thing. But I can see you on this side.
Okay.
So I want to say, how was your day? How is your day today?
My day was great. The question is, how was your day? Happy birthday to you.
I know what. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, in a few minutes, there will people probably be logging in on the on live. I will give you the chance right now, if you want to you can share to your friends to have them to come on in to the live if you want, and give you a moment to do that.
Thank you. Share button. So is that not?
You hit the share button, it didn't do anything.
Yeah, it did. It took me to my business group. Can I send it again so I can send it to my page? Can I send it?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, hold on.
Beautiful people, beautiful people, beautiful people. Come on in, beautiful people. So it's about that time. It's 7 o'clock. You want me to wait a little bit, for you to get your people in?
No, I think I was gonna try to share it to my stories, but I think we're good to go.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Well, I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to the Goddess Makara reality ITV talk show at Works Entertainment in the Mix. I'm so excited to introduce you to Jerusher Evans Wiggins. She's a motivational speaker who's inspiring audience all around the world with her message of empowerment, resilience, and hope. With her unique blend of passion, energy, and expertise, Jerusha has become a sought out speaker, a coach, and a mentor. She helped countless individuals and organizations to unlock their potential, overcome obstacles, and achieve their goals. She offers courses of coaching programs for new and seasoned entrepreneurs. So what I'm gonna do is, Jerusha, let's get started. Let me ask you, can you tell us a little bit more about you and where you're from?
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. And let me just say, it is an honor to be in your space and happy birthday as well. And so I'm excited for our interview. So we, actually connected a few years ago. So I'm actually, my background is radio and television. So I'm from South Carolina. And so I had the opportunity to meet some very influential people when I was in undergrad, and they kind of helped me tailor my career towards broadcasting and radio. And so I was an on-air radio personality first, loved the industry, then went into television. And so my degrees are in communications and public relations. And of course, I knew I was going to speak even in high school. I was nominated for something and I spoke on the stage and I said, that's what I'm going to do for a living. I'm going to get paid to talk. And so that's how I got into my industry. And then also, I have two boys, and of course, here in Atlanta with my husband. And our background, like his background, is also in radio and television.
Great, great, great. And also, too, can you tell us how many years have you been in the field of coaching?
Well, I've been an entrepreneur, really 18 years, almost 20 years. I would say at least 2 decades. So a long time. So even when I started working for television, I started a part-time business and I started business coaching. And so I went to the top 1% of that company, and my coaching did so well that I was training thousands of people, helping them become successful entrepreneurs, develop several leaders. And then I started my own coaching business, which is Pretty People Incorporated, which is my company where I have coaching programs as well as 3-day ride courses for people trying to build their businesses online or offline.
All right. All right. So you got a handful there. So then I'm meeting you as well. So let me ask you, Jerusher, I want to thank you for joining us as well. So what inspired you to become a motivational speaker, and what drive your passion for helping others as well? That's two questions in one.
It is. Okay. So I think, when I realized I could change my voice, I could talk, I was like, oh, I could get paid to do this. So my aunt, she owned a Hardee's, and she put me on the drive-through. And so that is where I started playing with my voice and realizing that I could captivate an audience. That's when I realized, man, this is a gift. And so that was the first place where I noticed that I was going to speak to a crowd of people. And like I said, went on to undergrad and had the opportunity to be in a lot of speaking events. And so I realized, I love talking. I actually like talking and inspiring other people with my words. And that's how I got into speaking. And then, of course, the second part of your question was, what motivates me to keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Really, to be honest, what motivates me when I see other people thriving, when I'm teaching and coaching and or talking on stages or talking on a Zoom like this or talking at a event, I like to look at people's intrigued faces, like they're like learning something. So it just drives me to do more. My hope is to shorten somebody else's learning curve. And so I just kind of thrive off of people's energy and how much they want to know. So that's what keeps me motivated.
Okay, great. And so your passion for helping others.
Yes, same thing. I want other people to have residual income. I want other people to live up to their full potential. My full potential takes off running in front of me every single morning, and I'm always trying to catch up. And what I realize is most people do just enough. And so if we stepped outside our comfort zone and just really lived up to our full potential, we could actually collectively change the world. And so that's why I share so much knowledge on social media. And that's why I have such a large platform, because I'm always trying to empower people that there's more in you. If you have a pulse, you have a purpose. So you definitely want to make sure you live up to that purpose, and the money will come.
Absolutely. I really, believe that, so loyalty and then the purpose, and then, like you said, the money will come. And how do you tailor your message and approach to different audience in the industry?
Well, in tailoring my message, actually, to be honest, I speak to my ideal client. So one of the things that I teach in my course called the 3-Day Ride is I teach you how to find your ideal person, because everybody's not your people. And I think when people have businesses, they think everybody can purchase their soap, lotions, potions. They can, but they're not your ideal. So when I'm on stages or speaking like this, I'm talking to a certain group of people who want to leverage and monetize social media, a certain group of people who are tired of working maybe in corporate America and they want to transition like I did. I laid off my corporate job and haven't looked back since. So I'm looking for a certain group of people who are ready right now. So even if I'm speaking, even to men, there's still a certain group of men that also want to be able to lay off their corporate jobs. So I have an ideal group of people that I like to target. And I think everybody should know who they're talking to, because if they're talking to everybody, they get nobody. And so we want to change that. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes. And can you like reiterate on the leverage? What is leverage?
Okay, I'm so glad that you asked me this question. So a couple of things I think most people don't realize in being on social media, and I didn't realize this initially, but when you leverage social media, you have your own business. So I have my own business, Pretty People Incorporated, my coaching programs, I own it. So I'm using social media to market my own business where I 100% benefit. Social media doesn't cost me anything to be on here. Everybody's scrolling anyway. The average person spends 2 to 3 hours on social media per day. And you have 4.8 billion people who open up the app. So I'm going to be marketing and branding myself because I am the brand, even though I sell a product. And so leveraging is having your own thing, your own business, right, that you own, and then you're using this tool, because social media is a tool, you're using this tool to market yourself freely. And so when I teach in my courses, you need to be marketing on all the platforms. When I worked in television and I put on a Coca-Cola commercial, I don't just put it on CNN. I put it on Headline News, ABC, NBC. That same Coca-Cola commercial is being marketed out to all of the networks. So when I'm on social media, I have the same concept. Is I'm not just going to market here. We're going to also leverage YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're going to be in multiple places because we have that opportunity. So that's what leveraging is. Monetizing is when the app pays you. So the app pays me to be on here. So I get, obviously based on my views, I have 150,000 followers, my content, my stories, my reels. Facebook will pay me, right, to be on here. Any content that I put out. TikTok pays you, like TikTok pays me to be on there. So most people are not leveraging and monetizing. So they don't see the value of social media because they're not really fully living up to their full potential to learn it. So it is a skill. Anybody can learn. I'm not tech savvy at all. I'm probably the worst, if you ask me, with technology. So that's the difference.
Okay, so that's some good information there. So let me ask you, how did you build your followers from like a zero to that 150 something thousand? While we're talking about leveraging, how did you build that over
Over
time?
time. That's a very good question. So what happened was, um, I would say, I always say by the grace of God, is I wasn't truly on social media. I didn't get on to about right before the pandemic. I was on, but I wasn't marketing. I wasn't leveraging or anything, but I had an account like everybody else. When I realized people were making a six-figure income on a monthly basis, when I realized that, man, this is a marketing tool that I need to learn. We use tools. Money is a tool. The microwave is a tool. Social media to me is a tool. And then I said, oh, I need to do what I do best. So when I started coming on social media, I just was doing like probably how most people found me: motivation, inspiration, imitating pastors, imitating speakers. So I was really playing. So I knew I had a gift in doing it. I was like, this is what I do best. Let's dive into it. People started being attracted to the content. So then I said, well, wait a minute, let me look into the monetization. How do they pay you to do it? I don't want to be just doing it. I don't want to just put out content. And so then I realized I need to sign up for their programs, their bonuses, and I need to make sure I'm making money from putting this content out here. So from zero, like everybody else, but I'm going to tell you the secret, in my opinion. There are several secrets, but I'll tell you a secret. I was consistent. That is
Mm-hmm.
the number one thing that I like to tell people is when I got on during the pandemic, everybody was on social media. I made sure I made a post every morning at 6:06 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I scheduled it through an app or whether I personally posted it, but every single day during the pandemic from 2021, 22, 23, consistently at 6:06 I was posting. So I think the algorithm realized this girl is posting consistently. So it's just 1 to 3 pieces of content every day, 1 to 3 pieces of content every day. And so there are apps that can help you because most people like to say, I have clients, like, I don't have that kind of time. No, you do, because there's an app that you can schedule the post and it'll go out at the time that you schedule it. And so in my course, I give you every app that you could possibly use to schedule. So just so you can get one of the apps, one of them is called Buffer, but I use an all-in-one system now that can schedule my content.
So
It does
what is it? What I'm sorry, what is it called? Buffer, like your buffet?
no Buffer, Buffer,
Yeah,
Buffer.
yeah, like a buff. Yeah, buffer.
So there are many apps. And so in my course, I give everybody that's in the course every app they can use to make their lives easier. The one that I use now is called an all-in-one system, and I have a referral link if someone wants it, where it does my web pages, my landing pages. It does scheduling for me on social media. I can schedule content to go on all the platforms. So if you're not using a tool, you are missing out. You think people are on here, you think because you see me, I'm on here. That is probably scheduled and it was going to go out regardless. I could be at my son's football game and then you got content. You know, I could even schedule a live, record it and schedule it and it'll go out as if it was a live. But
Right.
I'm visiting my parents and traveling. So there are tools for everything. And so when I realized that, I just started plugging in and I niched down on business coaching and motivation and inspiration. And I think that's what I did differently than most people. They're just not consistent. And no one has a consistency problem. Let me say this. I don't believe that a person really has a consistency problem. Hear me out. I think they have a value problem
Ah.
because most people, now I love everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice. I believe working with people and clients over the years, I hear this, I'm just not consistent. I'm just not consistent. And I tell each one of my clients, I say, listen, it comes down to value. What do you value the most? Because if you value growing and being a content creator, you'd prioritize it. Because right now, you don't have a consistency problem because you open up the television every day, turn it on consistently. You brush your teeth, you take a shower, you go work for somebody else on their job, and you do it well consistently. You open up social media to scroll consistently. You eat every day consistently. You don't have a consistency problem because everything in your life that you find valuable, you do it every day. The one thing that you say you want is to monetize and leverage social media and get paid to be working from home, but yet you don't make it a priority. So is it a value problem or a consistency? Most of the time, it's just not that important to you yet. Not that it's not important. It's not that important yet because you do it. I told my girlfriend, you talk to your significant other every day, you prioritize. You go to cookouts, you go to hookah bars, you prioritize what's important to you. So there's no such thing, in my opinion, really is, I'm just not consistent at this. It's just not that important to you yet. That's my opinion.
Consistency, yeah. Value. Can you, what role do you think storytelling plays in motivation speaking, and how do you use stories to connect with your audience?
Oh, yes. I do believe this. You can write this down. I love a great note taker. So if you're listening,
Okay, yeah, because I got my pen. Okay,
I love
okay.
please put this in the chat for me. Please, if you're listening, put this in the chat.
Someone put
You
this
probably,
in the chat for me.
yes, you probably heard this before. Stories sell, facts tell.
Story
Story
tells.
sale. Like that's how you get the sale is by telling stories. Facts actually tell something, right? So what that means is for most people that are using social media, they want to sell their product. So they're just telling me, hey, this is a pen, purchase my pen. You're just telling me about the pen, right? You're not telling a story about it. And so you need to tell me a story about the pen, the benefits of the pen. Why should I purchase the pen? So I think in everything I do, I'm always telling stories because I know that's what most people are going to remember. So any speaker that you've seen, they always are telling, whether it's a life story or a transformational story or a success story, a triumph story. Those things sell people on moving forward and taking action. So when someone tells me no, they don't want my opportunity, that's fine. No just means next opportunity. But then I also tell them, they're like, everyone tells me no when I'm introducing my product. No one's purchasing my product, my service, my opportunity. You have to talk to more people because guess what? And you heard this with Colonel Sanders. He was rejected 109 times. He
Wow.
went door to door with his recipe for Kentucky Fried Chicken. 109 people closed the door. It was hot. He was walking in the hot, knocking on doors. It was cold. He was walking, knocking on doors. And people were looking at him outside, him standing outside, looking through the blinds, right? Not even answering the door. And so imagine the door being closed in your face 109 times. And on the 110th time, someone says yes. And now, even and that was he was like 69 years old or something by the time that happened.
Wow.
And so now he left a legacy not just for his children but their children and their children because he was courageous enough to accept everybody is not your people, but the yes is coming. So was it worth it to get 109 no's? Absolutely. So when people tell me, oh, I just, I don't like rejection, you got to look at all the stories. Like I just said, you'll remember Colonel Sanders' stories. And today we know it as Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it's still thriving after all of this time. So yes, see how that story resonates with people like, okay, if that person can take 109 no's, surely I can take 10. Surely I can take 5. I can, talk to people about my business or my product or my service. And so nothing's going to happen. So I do believe stories make the difference. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and I love that. And can you share a favorite quote, mantra that inspires you and your audience?
A favorite one? Oh, I have so many. If people follow me there, I have so many. But the one that I love recently, write this down, is knowledge is the new rich. Arm
Okay, well,
yourselves.
I think I have the knowledge is new with
Not,
rich.
yeah, that's my favorite right now. Knowledge is the new rich. Arm yourselves with it. People will pay for knowledge. The reason
Absolutely.
why most people, yes, the reason why most people are where they are right now because they don't know something. The reason why your income is where it is because you don't know something. Knowledge is the new rich because the more we know, the more we grow. So you got to learn. You got to learn new skills. You got to step outside your comfort zone. You got to make yourself, right? Everything's not going to be perfect. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. And so I have so many quotes that I love, but right now I love knowledge is the new rich. Arm yourselves with it. Every day I'm live. I tell every single person, go learn something and implement what you've learned. Most people, even when they're listening to me and my coaching programs and going live, they're just listening. I'm like, implementation is key. Knowledge by itself is not power. It's applied knowledge that's power. And so information without implementation is just information. You're just walking around smart, but you didn't implement. So the moment that you implement, that's where you're going to start earning more money because you've learned something that you put into action. And so I think a lot of times with people, this is also one of my favorite is action precedes motivation. You can write that down. If you're listening, action precedes motivation. Most people that I come in contact with, if they're in my coaching program or my 3-day ride, they're like, I'm just not motivated, Jerusher. I'm just not motivated. Action. action precedes motivation. So what does that mean? You're not motivated to go to the gym. I know you're not, but you say you want to lose weight. You're not motivated to go live, but you say you want to be a content creator. You're not motivated. But once you get into action, you get dressed, you put on your workout clothes, your joggers, you get on the treadmill or you walk outside. Now you are getting motivated. And so most people are waiting around to be motivated, but that's a daily process. Just like you take a bath every single day, you got to motivate yourself every single day. I'm my biggest cheerleader. No one's coming to cheer Jerusher on. I'm like, you can do it, put a lot of power to it. So I have to motivate and inspire myself. So I have several.
Oh, that's awesome. And how do you help people overcome obstacles and setbacks? And what strategies do you recommend for building resistance? That's like 3 questions in one.
Okay.
Overcoming
These
obstacles, like in setbacks, and like building resilience.
So hopefully I'll be able to answer the 3 questions in one. Okay. So if I don't, just let me know. So one thing that I've done is, like I said, I'm not tech savvy. So coming onto social media was a challenge for me. Now I know somebody's gonna say, well, you worked in radio and television, you was on air, but it's different on social media, right? So I built my business initially for 18 years offline. All of my success, my residual income came from offline. Hotel presentations, traveling, we had an office. So everything that I did initially was offline. So one of the challenges that we had in that industry, people were not leveraging and monetizing social media. They were on social media. Being on here and not making money is not leveraging and monetizing. You're just on here. You're just posting and praying. But we want to post and profit. My goal is not to keep posting and not profiting. And so it was a challenge for me.
That's helping me.
I'm talking. So there was a challenge for me to try to understand, how are people maximizing this tool? How are they making money from the tool? Because if it doesn't make dollars, it don't make sense. So for me, if it doesn't make sense, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So you that down, that's another one. It doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And so I was like, how are they making dollars? Okay, how are they making coins? And so I just taught the other day on, you want to create content that convert into coins. The goal of this is to create content that converts into coins. And so that was my challenge, and a lot of people's challenge is really using the tool. And so how I overcame it, you said, how do I overcome obstacles, is I mess up. I show up raw. I show up scared. I show up imperfect. I'm perfectly imperfect. I challenge myself every day. And it might sound cliche, but any successful person will tell you, you do it until it doesn't scare you. And if it does, that's great. That means you're still growing. And so most people don't like the feeling. They're basing their success and their future on a feeling. And so if I didn't feel like it, just imagine I wouldn't be successful if I just like, oh, I don't feel like it today. Oh no, I just don't feel. So I don't think Martin Luther King based everything on his feeling, right? He had a dream and he acted on it. And so I think as people, to overcome any obstacle or challenges, one, we got to be willing to learn. And I got to say this, we got to be willing to invest in ourselves. The problem is with a lot of people, they don't want to
You touching
invest.
on something, girl.
Right? I don't know. My coaching programs, they cost. My 3-day ride course, it costs. But imagine what you're going to get out of it, because now you've propelled yourself and you can scale your business to the next level, whatever that next level is. So number one, you got to believe in whatever you want to do. You have to believe it. Okay. You got to see it before you see it, and you got to seek it before you see it. And so one of the things you have to do is invest. The best investment is in myself. I pay for coaching. I have 3 coaches. I paid to be a mastermind. I pay for courses because I want to level up. So I have to pay to play. I pay for my education. I pay for my degrees, right? They didn't just give it to me. So it's the same with being on social media. It's the same with using this tool. At some point, you're going to have to invest. I don't know how you can't get everything for free because you're still missing some of the parts. As much as I can tell you, even now, or even in all of my broadcasts, it's still nothing like working with a business coach, working with a mentor, working with your upline. There's nothing like working, connecting with that person, because energy is transferable and energy is contagious. So once you get into an environment when everybody is thriving, everybody is making good money, everybody's in double digits every month, that is going to rub off on you. But if you continue to be in the spaces that you are, you're not being challenged. If I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room. I want to be the dumbest person in the room, because that way I know I'm in the right room. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So I think, for most people, one, you got to believe in whatever your product is and whatever you are, your services are, but you've got to invest in yourself. You got to connect with the right people. And that's if you're serious, and that's if you're the ready right now. There are people who are wanting to, and there are people who are willing to. I'm always looking for the willing to. The difference is, Mecca, is the wanting to. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be successful. I want to drive luxury cars. I want to Lear jets. I want to fly first class. Everybody wants these things. Very few people are willing to do the work. So I'm always looking for, I'm willing to do whatever is necessary. Write that down. W-I-N. Win.
When?
Whoever is W-I-N. I'm willing to do whatever is necessary. I am that person. I am willing to do whatever is necessary. If that means me posting 1 to 3 times a day, I'm doing it. I'm willing to do it. If that means me missing out on sleep, I'm doing it. If that means me missing out on a baby shower, on a cookout, on the line dance, I'm doing it. I'm willing to do it. And so I'm always looking for the willing to, because we all can make excuses, and excuses are lies we tell ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Is
That's
that
correct.
helpful? Did I answer that question?
Yes. And how do you think people can reframe their mindsets and develop a more positive outlook in the face of challenges?
I would say first, whatever you believe, I believe in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So whatever your faith is, that's number one. Because if you don't start with God, everything ends in disaster. So that's my belief. So whatever your faith is, that's number one. You have to have affirmations. I have scriptures and I have prayers. And so one of the things that I teach in my 3-day ride business course is you want to have some type of motivation or inspirational prayer or something on your phone. So I have a prayer app that I use, and it comes up at least 10 times a day. It shows me a prayer and a scripture to go with it. And so in the course of my day, I'm centering myself at least 7, 8, 10 times a day, because the prayer continues to come up. That's a business strategy, because what we're doing is training the mind. And so we're conditioning the mind. And so I think it's important for most people, that's where it starts, because I want to make sure I'm in control. Whatever whatever comes from the mind, the body believes.
Right.
So if I tell myself, oh, I'm sick today, all of a sudden my body gets all sick. If I say, oh, I'm sleepy, all of a sudden I'm sleepy. And so the body does exactly what the mind says. And so I think it's important for people to start talking to themselves, and telling themselves, I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm the #1 speaker in the world, I'm a sought out, business coach. You got to start telling yourself the things that is not in the physical yet. You got to see it before you see it. So you have to go ahead and speak it. And so I think that's one of the things that I believe most people don't do. They don't encourage themselves enough to get the work done. Did that answer that question?
Absolutely, it did. And can you share a simple yet effective technique for managing stress and anxiety?
Well, I can tell you, sometimes I'm stressed out. I use apps for everything. So I work out. For me, I think it's important for each person to do, some form of exercising, even if it's walking. They say you are supposed to walk 7 to 10,000 steps a day. That's a stress reliever for me. Another stress, and that's what I do every day. I do some activity that gets me outside of the office, some activity that gets me outside of just work. And so I think whatever makes you happy, that to me could be a stress reliever. And because you're going to experience some level of stress, it's just you controlling it. Because when things are happening really fast, if I get too many clients at one time, I'm stressed out. If I'm not able to make somebody Zoom, or someone's invited me to speak at their women's retreat and I can't make it, or I'm late, I get stressed out. And then I have to center myself. That's where my prayer and affirmations come in. I do believe this. Here's some homework. I'm one of the business coaches that give homework. Here's a homework assignment. You should definitely write out your affirmations, record your affirmations on your phone, and throughout the day, listen to yourself. Everybody, you listen to yourself. So your affirmation should start off with I am. So for me, it's I am a woman of God. I am a great mom. I am, whatever your I am statements are, okay? I think it's important that you record it on your phone, and every day, throughout the day, listen to what you say you are. So that kind of helps me relieve my stress. Like, girl, you got this. Like I said, I'm my biggest cheerleader. I think that is it. And I can look on some of the things that I want for myself. So if you want to purchase a new house, right? Go ahead and go to that house. If it's available, look in the house, take a picture of the house. One of my mentors, she's a multimillionaire. And she was like, okay, you want that luxury car? Go to the car dealer, go drive it. Go take pictures in it. Go do all the things, feel the leather. And then that gets you inspired. Okay, I got work to do. Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. I believe that. And also, too, what role do you think self-care, mindfulness plays in maintaining resilience and motivation?
Now, I'm a self-care girl. I'm a girl's girl. So I am a girl's girl. So I have standing appointments. So I do believe self-care is important, because when I feel good, my confidence rises, right? So when my hair is nice, my nails and my pedicures are done, when all the things are popping, right? I feel more confident on stage, on camera. So I do believe whatever that self-care is for you, getting a massage, whatever the self-care, I think is super important to do the things that make you feel good, right? Because you need to show up for the world. We need to see your authentic self, and we need to see the best version of you. So the best version is when you're well taken care of, in my opinion. So I do think self-care is super important, especially if you're in, you have a big business or you have big responsibilities. You certainly want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself first. Because if my cup isn't filled, I can't fill your cup. Mecca, I can't help you because my cup is empty. And so every single day, I want to make sure not just my cup, my salsa, the table, everything's overflowing, that I have enough to give somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Oh, okay.
And how do you define leadership, and what qualities do you think are essential for effective leaders?
As most people know, there are several qualities, I believe, for leaders. One of the things that I've learned over the years with my mentors is to be always learning. I'm always a student. Even though I am a leader, even though I run a big business, I am always a student. So I'm always learning. And I think that's what makes great leaders, as well as being, interested in people. I want to be the person that's interested, not interesting. I'm interested in Mecca. I want to know what's going on with you. I want to know how I can help you. So I'm asking questions like, why aren't you leveraging and monetizing? Okay, how can we get you leveraging and monetizing social media? What do we need to change? I'm going to be a great question asker because I'm interested in you. I could give all of my accolades. I can give you all of the things, but that's great. How does it help somebody? So I do believe a great leader is focused on the people. And I use this in my training: see the people, see the people, see the people. If you keep your eyes on the people, right? So you build the people and the people build the business. So I always focus on the individual, and I think that's what makes a great leader. Everyone loves to work with somebody who values them. Every person want to be heard, you want to be seen, you want to be validated. And each person is wearing a sign on their forehead that says, make me feel important. And so as a leader, I'm always trying to bring the best out of that person, because then that lets them know that I have their back. Like, that's in my opinion. No one likes a leader that doesn't listen. So I'm willing to listen and find out what the problem is so we can solve it.
And what role do you think mentorship and coaching plays in personal and professional growth?
I think we kind of covered it. I have coaches. I have a spiritual coach. I have a business coach. So I think in every part of your life, you should have a coach, somebody who's done it or doing it. Because if I knew everything, I'd already be there.
Now,
Right?
some people
And
feel like, yeah, some people like with coaches, professional coach, I know it, it's like you said, you have to invest in yourself. So when you do get a professional coach, as far as whatever you're trying to do, is if you're trying to lose weight, you go get a personal trainer.
correct.
But yeah, so but how do you help people identify, what role you think mentorship plays in it, a coaching or whatever, what role?
In my opinion, I can only express what I know. I don't think I would be as successful or even going to my next level if I didn't have a mentor and a coach.
That's great. That's great, but that's great.
I don't believe that, other than God and my talents, along with having a coach, I don't believe I can get to my next level in business without a coach. I don't believe, because basketball players, my son plays football, he has a coach
Oh,
on every level, whether it's, he's in high school, then he goes to the collegiate level, he has a coach. And so in every aspect of life, no matter what the profession is, there's someone that has the plays that they can show you how to get to where you want to be. So for me, I would always have a coach. Even Oprah has a coach for the rest of my life.
okay. You answered that question. Like I need, like me, I want to become a singer, so I go and take vocal lessons. I need a coach for that. If you want to be a guitar player, you go, I'm talking about on the artist side of it. You go and learn how
I'm
to play the guitar.
that. Just
Huh?
like Beyonce, her concerts are amazing. She has a coach. Someone's coaching her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to me that people don't think they need a business coach. They don't think they need the courses. They don't think they need the classes. But Beyonce has a dance coach. She has all of these things. She has a manager. She has someone guiding her. So it's interesting. Yeah, I think you definitely have to have
Okay. And can you share a book or resources that had a significant impact on your own personal growth and development?
one book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Okay,
What's the name of the
how to win friends and influence people.
How to Win
Friends
Friends
and
and Influence People?
yes,
Can you tell me a little bit about that book?
that was one of several, but that was one of the books that changed my perspective on sales. I think, most people are thinking about the dollar signs when they are selling the product, as opposed to thinking about serving the person. And the book talks about how to win friends. You network with people. You become interested, like I said, in people. You ask great questions. When people see that you're interested in them, they open up better. And now you can get to the root of the problem and solve it for them with your product, your service, your opportunity. So the book basically teaches you how to go into a room and befriend or influence the people that you want to be connected to. So that to me is one of the best books that I think people can read in building their people skills, because that's all business is building people skills.
Okay.
And so when people know you, when people feel like they know you, like now, before this interview, and I'm so appreciative because you saw me on screen so many times, there are so many people feel like they know me. It's like, oh, I know her. That's Jerusher, right? That's pretty people. And that's because, right, showing up consistently. And when people know you, they like you, they trust you, they want to do business with you. But they can't do any of those things if you're not showing up, if you're not trying to build the relationship, if you're not networking with those people, if you're not communicating with those people. So I teach people how to communicate effectively with the people that are on social media. We're no longer strangers, we're friends. If you follow me, we're friends. I feel like I can talk to you. I feel like we can, have collaborations. I feel like we can do things together. And so I think that to answer your question, with that book, it teaches you how to value people.
Okay. And how do you stay up to date with the latest marketing and branding trends?
I'm in groups. So I pay to be in communities. So there are Facebook communities for every subject. There are masterminds, there are Zooms, there are community events in your own local area. So I am involved in communities. So I think that's important for anybody. So let me give you an example that happened back in the day, and I didn't even know this was important. So I wanted to nurse both of my boys, which I did, which is years ago. My son is in high school now. But in doing that, I found that, okay, the milk wasn't coming as fast. So, at that time, I just went and Googled, how do you keep your milk, supply? And there was a community and said, here, this is a community of moms. You meet every like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They teach you how to increase your flow. They teach you what to eat. They teach you how to exercise, and they teach you how to make sure he latches on until whatever, right? So that was my first introduction to communities. So I was like, oh, I'm a go. I went by myself to this community of women, didn't know anybody, but I knew I had a need. And then they showed me how to keep the supply of my milk for both of my boys. And I nursed both of them for a year. Once I figured that out, I said, I bet you there are other communities. So I started looking up, I wonder if there are business communities. I wonder if there are online communities. I wonder if there are, pet grooming communities. There's a community for everything. And so for me, and what I recommend people do is plug in. Now, they're all not free. Some of them you pay for. So right now, one of the communities I'm in, I pay a monthly fee to be a part of this particular community. They keep me up to date with the latest trends, marketing strategies for social media, because I'm not tech savvy. That's my weakness. So I want to be around people who are smarter than me in that area. So I do pay to be in that community on a monthly basis. So when something changes on Facebook, they know about it. When something changes on TikTok, they know about it. So I'm always at the table getting the information.
Okay, and that was a question that goes with that. How do you measure the success, like of a client, and what metrics do you use to track that process?
How do I measure the success of a client?
Yes.
I don't know that I measure it. I base it on what they say, where they say they want to be, because success is relative. Like someone, one time someone told me, they're a stay-at-home mom. They're like, I'm successful as a stay-at-home mom. So I think it depends on what they think success is. If you're talking money, right? Some people think, when I thought 6 figures was it. When I worked in television, I was like, oh man, I'm rich. I was like, oh, we got 6 figures. I was the person who thought that was a big deal until I met my mentor, and she makes 6 figures a month. And then I was like, oh, people, where, what?
You're making it 6 figures a year, so you're talking about a month. Oh my gosh.
Right. So it's perspective. Like, you're like, I thought I was doing good. Like, and to meet someone who was like, well, you could do that in a month. And I'm like, really? Well, what do you need to do that in a month? So for me, I have to ask each individual that are in my coaching program, what do you think success is? Do you think success is double digits each month? And then trying to get them there. So I just encourage what they already want and push them a little bit further. So if they say six figures, I'm saying that's 100,000 or 200, or is that 500? What is that to you? So for me, I don't know. It just depends on the client and what they want from it. So I don't know if that helps you out, but it depends on what they want success to be for them and their family.
The why. And let me ask you, how do you think people can overcome, like, because a lot of times too, it's like self-doubt and the imposter syndrome, and what develop greater confidence with self-trust?
That's one of the things that's circulating now on social media, people having imposter syndrome. They're like, oh, but I'm not successful yet. Oh, I don't have a degree yet. Or I have a certificate of qualifications yet. And so they're not showing up that person because they feel like, it's not there yet. Well, the paper doesn't really validate your knowledge. You could actually still be in school, right? You haven't earned your, degree yet or your certificate yet, but you have the knowledge, you have the wisdom, you have the experience, you have the expertise. And so for me, with my clients, I tell them, you don't have to already be an attorney to know a lot about the legal system. You can certainly still show up on social media giving people what you know. So that way you don't have that feeling of, oh, I'm not being truthful. Yes, your knowledge is truthful. Your experience is truthful. And so that's how I teach how to overcome that feeling of fear of what other people are going to say. And mom teases me all the time. I'm like, well, people are going to talk about you anyway. She says, baby, you're going to be too much for some people. Those aren't your people. And so the moment that I realize that I'm going to be too much for some people, I'm going to repel some people, but I'm also going to attract my people. And so I wouldn't worry about, I tell people, don't worry about what the naysayers say. Give them something to talk about. You are an expert at something. You are an expert. So when you are using this tool, right, talk about what you know. You are an expert. You don't need a piece of paper to say that you are an expert. You could be a great mom. Do you need a certificate to say you're a great mom? Can you not come on here and teach other people how to be a great mom? You raised 7 children. They all went to, grad school. They all are thriving. Can you not share with us how that happened? So I just think, when you give people examples, like you said, in stories, they can relate. Like, that makes sense. I don't know why I'm downplaying my knowledge. And a lot of times it's just, in my opinion, let me say that, a lot of times it's an excuse.
Okay.
Excuse the lies we tell ourselves. So we just like, oh, I can't do that because that's an excuse. Because you can, because it's free. You could just press a button.
Yes. Also, too, can you give us a little bit of information on the Pretty People?
Yes. So
Yeah.
Pretty People Incorporated is my organization. I have a coaching program, a 6-month coaching program where I help you scale to a 6-figure income, or 7, depending on where you are. And then my courses, I have several courses within the Pretty People organization. And basically, it just means I crown people over here. I want to give my kings and queens their crown. We want to celebrate, collaborate, and we want to make that money, honey. So ultimately, being pretty, we're talking on the inside. People see pretty people and they're thinking I'm talking about on the outside, but I'm talking about your soul, your spirit. Is it pretty? And people can see it in the work that you do. And so that's what being pretty looks like to me, is the work that you do in the community, in the work that you do. Like for me, I go live, I share actionable business tips, tools, hacks, strategies. That's my service. And so that's what Pretty People Incorporated is. And so if someone wanted to take a course, like the 3-day ride is my signature course, you will actually see results in 3 days. You'll be able to see how to really maximize social media so you are getting clients. The goal is for you to make a profit, not just post. And so the 3-day ride, the
I
course.
need to get on. I'm gonna get on that 3-day ride.
Get on the 3. So yeah.
So how can the viewers, the audience, find you, to reach you, and
Obviously, if you're
okay.
not already following me, if you're not already following me, please go ahead and follow. You can follow me here. It's my name on Facebook if you're here on Facebook. On YouTube, it's also my name. On all my platforms, Instagram at Jerusher, TikTok at Jerusher. So it's the same on all the platforms. And I put it in here in the chat. So
Yes, you
yes, I do
can.
a lot of fun things on TikTok. You can follow my business page as well. So how do I, okay, right here. I don't know how to send it though. Wait a minute. Oh, no, that's not it. So, oh, right there. So at Jerusher, right there. You can follow me at Jerusher if you're not following me here on Facebook. But you can go to my TikTok and my Instagram. But TikTok is where I'm growing, so I'd love to see you over there. It's at Jerusher right there in the chat. If you want to learn how to find your ideal clients, like you don't understand how people are selling on here. You don't understand how people are making, double digits every month and leveraging and monetizing. You don't know how to start conversations that convert. You don't know how to overcome objections. You're my people. The 3-day ride teaches those strategies as well as short form video, because video is the fastest way to get in front of more people. I also teach you tricks and different hacks on how to build your business in 1 power hour. The people that typically follow me work a corporate job. So I teach you how to build your business in 1 power hour. I have a strategy where we do income producing hours, 15 minutes, 4 times a day. And so 15 minutes, 4 times a day is 1 hour. And so I teach that strategy in the 3-day ride. And so, yes, so that's what you're going to get. So in order for you to see the ride, you could text me the word ride, R-I-D-E. I'm gonna put it right here. Text me the word ride. That way you'll be able to receive my business page for the 3-day ride. Okay, I'm gonna put it right here in the chat, right there. So text me the word ride, and that way you will automatically receive that information. You'll be able to receive info, everything that's going on with me, what's available. But I'm super excited to help you, because this is where I think most people, in my opinion, they are afraid of what other people are going to think of them once they show up on social media. And you're going to show up differently. And so you're afraid of what your aunt, your cousin, your girlfriend from high school, undergrad, whatever, you're afraid of people's opinion. And that's one of the biggest fears in the world. And so what I would tell you is, you give people hope. You have to become successful. Your success is tied to somebody else's belief system. They don't even know they can do it until they see you. I didn't even know I would be inspiring people until I did it. So you have to do it. It has to be your voice. It has to be your, personality. It has to be you, because I can't reach everybody. Mecca can't reach everybody. So we have to have everybody doing their part. So write this down. Your success is tied to somebody else's belief system. And so when you get yourself out of the way and stop being selfish and be selfless, you'll see success.
Okay. And last, before we close, there's one more question I'd like to ask. Can you share a final thought for a call to action to our audience on how they can continue to grow and thrive?
Just like now, I just said, text me the word ride. That's a call to action. So any type of content that I put out, I'm going to do a CTA, a call to action. So whenever you're going live throughout the live, even your lives, Mecca, you need to make sure, put in the chat if you understand. Put the word understand.
That's
Is that me?
that's my husband cooking.
Oh,
He
okay.
came home for my birthday.
Okay. Um, so I would definitely say, you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I would definitely tell your audience and everyone that's listening, you always want to instruct people what to do next. And so with every piece of content that I have, there's either words on the screen that say, text me the word live if you want to go live with me. Or if it's a product, I'm like, hey, let me know if you want this product, if you want more energy and stamina. So a call to action is relevant on every piece of content, especially during a live. When I'm live, I know at least 20 times I tell people what to do next. And so it's important that you do that because they might want to move forward with me in the 3-day ride, but they don't know how to move forward with me in the 3-day ride. So I have to say, hey, make sure you text me the word ride, DM me the word ride. Make sure I have to tell them how to get the information for the 3-day rides. So a call to action is necessary on every piece of content.
Great, great, great. And Jerusha, I want to thank you for coming on to the Goddess Makara Reality ITV talk show at Works Entertainment in the Mix. And I want to get on that 3-day ride with you. I need a lot of, the knowledge that you gave me today. It's like it is so much, it's overwhelming, but it's some good stuff. And so you really actually have helped me out as well to get it together, to leverage. That's one of the things I'm gonna have to learn how to do, monetize. And if there's any questions to anyone in the audience have any questions, feel free to text it in the inbox. And if we can't get to it now, we will get to it later. So once
Yeah,
again,
we have a few minutes, so if someone has a question, they can put it in the chat. And if I can, I'll be happy to answer a quick question or two. So let me know. Yes, absolutely. And so, no, thank you so much for even considering me for your talk show. I am definitely humbled, and I'm so excited to be connected to someone like you. I hope your birthday is turning out to be one of the best birthdays today. So yes, if anybody has a question, let me know. But I'm so grateful to be in your presence.
okay, thank you as well. And once again, I thank everybody for coming in on the Goddess Makara Reality ITV talk show at Works Entertainment in the Mix. And once again, we on every Thursday from 6 p.m. Central Standard Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So once again, have a great and blessed and prosperous night on purpose. Thanks, Jerusha.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.